Hari Om, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. We'll get started. Om. Ganana Antva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavin Kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspadana Shrunvannuti Dasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebirvajinivati Dhinamavityavate Om Ganeshaya Namaha Om Saraswatyai Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye Vagishadya Sumanasaha Sarvarthanam Upakrame Yamnatva Kritakritya Syuhu Tam Namami Gajananam Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhirbhavatu Me Sada Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Nama Sadgurum Tam Nama Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bedha Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namah Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Yasya Sannidhi Matrena Sarve Shishyascha Sevakaha Karma Kshetre Pravartante Chinmayam tam namamyaham. Chinmayam tam namamyaham. Hari Om, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get started with our Mangala Charana Shloka. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. We are studying the Panchakosha Viveka in the last few classes. We have covered select verses on Annamaya Kosha, food sheath, Pranamaya Kosha or vital air sheath, Manomaya Kosha, mental sheath, and last week we elaborately covered Vijnanamaya Kosha or the intellectual sheath. If you have missed any of these classes, please go to Chinmaya Ramanam, our YouTube channel for these classes, and you can watch all of them or up to date. Now today, let us enter the final sheath in this Panchakosha Viveka. A little bit of introduction on the bliss sheath or Anandamaya Kosha. This is the innermost of the 5 sheaths. The bliss sheath is the closest to Atman. It's called as Anandamaya Kosha, or from a body perspective, it is the causal body on the left hand side. It consists of exclusively our Ajnana, ignorance of our true nature, and Vasanas, our innate tendencies, before they are grossified into thoughts and actions. Bliss sheath is experienced in our deep sleep state every night. How do we experience this happiness or sukha in this deep sleep state? There is complete ignorance of what? Both the world of objects as well as our true self. Ajnana. That is why we call it Ajnana Nidra. Not Yoga Nidra, but Ajnana Nidra. We experience a state of bliss. We can also say blissful ignorance. This is not the same as the infinite bliss. This is Kosha Ananda, not the same as Atmananda. Sometimes we experience this kind of bliss in our waking state, in our dream state also. For example, like when we are watching a sunset or a sunrise in the distant horizon, past the ocean, Your heart is filled with so much peace and joy. Or, for that matter, somebody who is engaged in a creative activity like painting or any other field of creation, and the happiness derived in those moments are attributable to Anandamaya Kosha or this bliss sheath. Anandamaya Kosha is known by many names, like it is called as bliss sheath, simply called as vasanas, ignorance, non-apprehension, causal body, or simply state of deep sleep, slumber. All these terms are very prevalent in our Vedantic literature. And this type of bliss or kosha ananda has three levels of gradations. For example, when you think of an object or a person that you like, let's say you like ice cream for dessert. Summer months, so we can as well imagine the best flavor. The moment you think of your favorite flavor, you are very joyous. The perception of that flavor. This joy in Vedanta is called as Priya. And let's say when you gain that object or meet that person, or say, let's say you went to that store and got that flavor of your the ice cream that you like the most, the increased joy that you get is called moda, second level of gradation. And then you are in the store, you get a couple of scoops of your favorite flavor, and when you experience that favorite flavor of ice cream, ah, you become one with it. That gradation is called pramoda, priya, moda, pramoda. And this is the happiness derived from enjoying the object of my desire. Let's understand this with another common example. Let's say it's a full moon day, a Purnima day, and there is cloud cover that has cleared up. You go to your backyard or onto your deck to enjoy this brilliance of the full moon. But we know that the brilliance of the moon is borrowed light from the sun. So in this example, the clouds are like the Manomaya Kosha or the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And the moon stands for Anandamaya Kosha. And the moon's brilliance can be compared to the reflected bliss. And the sun here is like the pure self. I hope you caught that. example in that analogy. So with that much introduction to Anandamaya Kosha, let us see few selected verses from Viveka Choodamani. Let us go to verse number 207. आनंद प्रतिबिंब चुंबित तनुः वृत्तिस्तमोजृंबिता आनंद प्रतिबिंब चुंबित तनुः वृत्तिस्तमोजृंबिता स्यादानंदमयः प्रियादिगुणकः स्वेष्टार्थलाभोदयः स्यादानन्दमयः प्रियादिगुणकः स्वेष्टार्थलाभोदयः पुण्यस्यानुभवे विभाति कृति नामानन्दरूप स्वयम् पुण्यस्यानुभवे विभाति कृति नामानन्दरूप स्वयम् सर्वो नन्दति यत्र साधुतनुः भृन्मात्र प्रयत्नं विना. One more time together. आनंद प्रतिबिंब चुंबित तनुः वृत्तिस्तमोजृंबिता स्यादानंदमयः प्रियादिगुणकः स्वेष्टार्थलाभोदयः पुण्यस्यानुभवे विभाति कृति नामानन्दरूप स्वयम् सर्वो नन्दति यत्र साधुतनु धृन्मात्रः प्रयत्नं विना. Now, what is this bliss sheath? Ananda pratibimba chumbita tata. Chumbita tanu vrittistamojrumbita. Now here we can see this poetic side of Bhagavan Shankaracharya. This bliss sheath is the light of reflection of what? Of the consciousness. Pratibimba chumbitatanu. As though kissed by this reflection of the Atman. Fully covered by tamas, tamoguna. Ananda pratibimba chumbita tanuhu vrittistamojrumbita syadanandamayah anandamayah. This is what makes the bliss sheath. And when do we experience this? Every day in our deep sleep, where our mind is covered by avidya or ajnana or by the tamo guna. The blissful light of the self reflected in it This sheath is full of bliss. Priya Adi Gunakaha. We already know what is Priya, Moda, Pramoda. They are the various gradations of happiness. But in deep sleep, there are no gradations. It's homogeneous signals. This bliss is also experienced to a lesser degree in our or lesser intensity in our dream and waking states. Sveshtartalabodaya. When our sensory pursuits, Ishta Artha Labha Udaya, sensory pursuits are fulfilled, Punyasyanubhave Vibhati Kruti Namananda Rupa Swayam. This experience of this bliss is always a result of the punya karmas, the good deeds or the meritorious deeds of the past. Because evil deeds do not give bliss, they bring only pain, they bring only suffering, dukkham, and they obstruct the flow of bliss coming from the sheath. Sarvo nandati yatra sadhutanu brunmatra. Everybody derive the joy through the sheath. Prayatnam vina, without any effort. I hope you caught that with that introduction. Moving on to verse number 208. Anandamaya koshasya sushuptau spurtirutkata. Anandamaya koshasya sushuptau spurtirutkata. Swapna jagarayorisha dishta sandarshanadina. Swapna jagarayorisha ishta sandarshanadina. One more time together. Anandamaya koshasya sushuptau spurtirutkata. Swapna jagarayorisha yorishat ishta sandarshanadina. See, we have seen this in the introduction already. Anandamaya koshasya sushuptau spurtirutkata. The Anandamaya kosha, he is saying, is fully manifest in our deep sleep state. Sushuptau spurtirutkata. See, one universal declaration of every deep sleeper. What do we say? It was full of joy. We say, I did not know anything in my sleep. I slept like a log of wood, we say. Anyone who goes into deep sleep, the experience is the same. Whether he is a king, whether he is a beggar, a saint, or a sinner. The experience in deep sleep is the same. This experience of this intense bliss coupled with ignorance. Swapnajagarayoriishat ishta sandarshanadina. He's saying it is partially manifest in our dream and waking states, depending on the sight of the desired object of pleasure, whatever we are seeking. We know Priya, Moda, Pramoda, the gradations of happiness. And that's how we know what this Anandamaya Kosha is, not Atmananda. Now we know that. But in the next verse, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji makes the argument as to how to negate this Anandamaya Kosha as not self. Naivayamanandamaya paratma. Naivayamanandamaya paratma. Sopadikatvat prakritervikarat. Sopadikatvat prakritervikarat. Naivayamanandamaya paratma. Sopadikatvat prakritervikarat. Karyatva heto sukrutakriya. Karyatva heto sukrutakriya. Vikara sanghata samahitatvat. Vikara sanghata samahitatvat. One more time together. Naivayamanandamaya paratma. Sopadikatvat prakritervikarat. Karyatva heto sukrutakriya. Vikara sanghata samahitatvat. Naivayamanandamaya paratma. Because we have already negated the Vijnanamaya Kosha, neither nor. So, Naiva, nor the Anandamaya Kosha can be considered as self because it is conditioned consciousness. The main causes of which are first we need to perceive, we need to possess, and we need the enjoyment of the object of our desire. It is, he says, is a modification of our ajnana or ignorance. It is an effect of the good karmas from the past, and it is also embedded within the other sheets. And by nature, all of them are jada, inert. This is the summary of that shloka. Now let us take one at a time. First point. Sopadikatvat. Sa upadi. Anandamaya Kosha is conditioned. It is an adjunct. It is a upadhi. So the gradations of happiness, the priya, the moda, pramoda, they are all conditioned. Their existence depends on what? First, we need to perceive the object, possess the object, and then enjoy the desired object. And for that, there are many external factors or external dependencies. And the Upanishads or Shruti Pramana says, bliss of the self, Atmananda, is not dependent on external factors. So it is unconditioned. It is unlimited, permanent happiness. Number one. And the second point he makes in the shloka is Prakrutehe Vikarat. Anandamaya Kosha. See, logical thinking here. Anandamaya Kosha is a modification of the ignorance. It is evident in our deep sleep. Everyone experiences and has that memory upon waking that I did not know anything. And the Upanishads say Atma is nirvikari, without any modifications. And it is of the nature of absolute knowledge, Jnana Swarupa. And hence Anandamaya Kosha is not Atma. Now the third point. Karyatva heto sukrita kriyaya. Anandamaya Kosha is the effect of the good deeds of the past. The experiences of Anandamaya Kosha are the effects or the results of the Punya karmas that we have done in the past. It has a beginning, it has an end. Adi and Ananta. And the Upanishads say Atma is or Atmananda is permanent. No beginning, no end. Ananta. And one more pointer he gives Vikara Sanghat Samahitatvat. Anandamaya Kosha is associated with other matter. For example, we have gone through all of them, understood how to negate them. Anandamaya Kosha is embedded with four other matter envelopment. They are all modifications of Anatma and can never be Atma. What are they? The other matter envelopments, Vijnanamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya, Annamaya, all these are embedded in the Anandamaya Kosha. So with this, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has concluded the answer to the seventh question asked by the student. Tayor Vivekaha Katam. How to differentiate. So in the last several classes, we went through the five koshas, starting from Annamaya Kosha, food sheath, Pranamaya Kosha, vital air sheath, Manomaya Kosha, mental sheath. And last week we went through in detail Vijnanamaya Kosha or intellectual sheath. And now we will just chant verse number 49 one more time, that all those questions को नाम बन्धः कथमेष आगतः कथं प्रतिष्ठास्य कथं विमोक्ष्यः कोऽसावनात्मा परमः क आत्मा तयोर्विवेकः कथमेतदुच्यताम्. Just to recap, in this verse, the student had asked 7 profound questions. The first question was, Kaha asau anatma? What is this anatma? As a part of that, we studied Shariratraya Viveka, the Stula Sharira, the gross body, the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, Karana Sharira, or the causal body. And then from a Kosha standpoint, we studied the Pancha Kosha Viveka. See, one thing we ought to remember here is when we say vital air sheath or Pranamaya Kosha is within the foot sheath. And then when we say self is the innermost thing, one may lead to think that self is this minute thing hidden inside these 5 sheets. That is not how we need to understand. Within Vedanta, it needs to be understood as inner one is subtler than the outer. The subtler controls the grosser. It's called Niyama Niyamika Sambandha. I've explained that in our discussion. So foot sheath, when we say, is grosser than the vital air sheath, means it is subtler. The self is the subtlest and controls all of the layers, all of the matter layers. And the mental sheath, we know, is more pervasive than the vital air sheath, because the fields of knowledge goes beyond the physical comprehension. Intellectual sheath is much subtler and ventures to go what? Beyond the realms of the unknown areas of thought. I hope you got that point. Then we also studied in these classes Atma Lakshanas, Paramaha Ka Atma, understood through Swarupa Lakshana or direct pointers. In Tatastha Lakshana, we studied Avastatraya Viveka, Atman as Sakshi Swarupa, the witness principle in and through the waking, dream, and deep sleep state. We touched upon what is bondage, bandhana, what is the cause of bondage, how does it continue to persist. Now, how do we transcend these 5 sheets? And beyond these 5 sheets is Om, our Atman, the core of our personality. 5 sheets are as though a dress worn by the self, but different from the wearer of that dress. Let me see if I have a couple of verses. He gives some direction there as to how we have negated. In 210, he says, Panchanam api koshanam nishedhe युक्तितश्रुतेः पञ्चानामपि कोशानां निषेधे युक्तितश्रुतेः तन्निषेधावधिः साक्षी बोधरूपो अवशिष्यते पञ्चानामपि कोशानां निषेधे युक्तितश्रुतेः तन्निषेधावधिः साक्षी बोधरूपोऽवशिष्यते. See, when the five sheets have been negated by using yukti, using the Shruti Pramana, that is exactly the methodology we used. What remains is that witness principle, that Sakshi Rupa. What remains is that substratum, that knowledge absolute, the Atman. And in 211, Yo Matma Swayam Jyotihi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha Yoyamatma Swayam Jyotihi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha Avasthatraya Sakshi San Nirvikaro Niranjanaha Avasthatraya Sakshi San Nirvikaro Niranjanaha Sadanandassa Vigneyaha Swatmatvena Vipaschita. He gives the direction in this shloka. Ayamatma Swayam Jyotihi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha. I am the self-effulgent Atma. I am distinct from these five sheets. Panchakosha Vilakshanaha. Avastatraya Sakshi. I am that witness principle in the three states of my existence, the waking, dream, and the deep sleep states. Nirvikaro Niranjanaha, the changeless, untainted. Sadanandassa Vigneyaha, everlasting bliss. Now, we have done this meaning of this before. The next one we are going to chant in our meditation sessions. You can revisit them on the Chinmaya Ramanam. Let us conclude today's session by chanting the Nirvana Shatakam, written again by Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji. It makes sense now to chant this as to who am I. Mano buddhya hankara chitta ninaham na cha shrotra jihve na cha grana netre. Just sit up, close your eyes and listen in, soak it in. Mano buddhya hankara chitta ninaham na cha shrotra jihve न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोशाः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागौ न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्तो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखम् न मन्त्रो न तीर्थम् न वेदा न यज्ञः अहम् भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्मः न बन्धुर्न मित्रम् गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् अहम् निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो अहम् निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभूत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणाम् सदा मे समत्वम् न मुक्तिर्न बन्धः सदा मे समत्वम् न मुक्तिर्न बन्धः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहम् 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 ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्. May all be happy, may all be healthy, may all see auspiciousness, may none suffer. Om peace, peace, peace. With that, I'll open it up for our interactive session. Please stay back since this is our last class before the break. I would really appreciate it.